So I mean, that's all I can contribute it to. I can English, yes. Was Kitten's name always Kitten, or was there another name but she always called her Kitten? Kitten has a name. Her name is... Hello, my YouTube friends. First of all, did you guys see my little intro at the beginning? I did it all by myself. I've actually been working with a guy named Darren Stouth, and he's amazing at what he's done. He's done my logo. He did the intro to my YouTube video just now. I've been wanting to get a YouTube intro, and I've also been wanting to get a logo for my business because I don't have either of those things. And as my business is continuing to grow and stuff like that, I want to have it be more of like a recognizable, I don't know, a symbol, a logo. That's what logos are for. Anyway, I've been working with Darren, and he's super, super awesome. I'm going to leave his information in the description box below so that you guys can contact him for any of your graphic design needs. I know he does websites. He's going to be working on mine. So yay, Darren! Anyway, the video that I'm doing today is a Q&A video. We're gonna hop right in. How did you mentally deal with weight gain? I've gained a few extra pounds and I'm trying not to freak out. You seem to deal with it quite gracefully. I would not say that I dealt with it super gracefully, especially at first. I would say the first few pounds of weight gain is the hardest. But I also wasn't weighing myself for a long time, so like I could tell I was gaining weight, but I also could like kind of pretend that I wasn't because I wasn't weighing myself. But also I think for me it's easy to kind of get to a point like once I stop tracking macros, I'm kind of off like the cutting train. Like I'm not focused on weight loss or weight anything. So for me, I can kind of just like let it go. I kind of disconnect from it and I just don't really think about it. I don't know why I'm able to do this. It's really like all or nothing with me for like weight stuff. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I always just tell myself like there are more important things in the world than like the size of my body and whether or not I'm like super lean or just normal lean or like average size. And like any weight that you gain can always eventually come off. It's just not that big of a deal. Do you think that people that are new to counting macros should have a coach for a while, or when do you think it's safe to start adjusting them on your own after having a coach? It helped me to have a coach. I tracked my own macros for like a year or so without a coach, and they were just all over the place because all you really do is like, because if you don't really know a lot, you're just like, well, this person's macros are this, so I'll do those macros, or this macro calculator said this, so I'll do that. And it's just like so much guesswork, and you usually aren't very patient long enough to do those macros to know if they're working for you. So working with a coach kind of forces you, first of all, to be consistent long enough to see what will or will not work for you. Also having a coach that knows how to tell by your body's reactions if it likes the macros that you're on is super helpful. That's what I do for a living, is I'm an online coach. I set macros up for my clients and I just, you know, track progress over the weeks, see how their body changes, see how their weight changes, see how their energy levels fluctuate. Things like that will tell you if your body likes the macros that you're on and if they're gonna work for you. So I definitely recommend working with a coach if you have the money. Even if someone just sets up initial macros for you and you can commit to sticking to them, that will be helpful in and of itself. But I tell my clients that, you know, after 6 or 12 weeks with me, you can technically probably work on your own if you pay attention to how I'm adjusting your macros and why I'm adjusting them, because I always try to explain it, but I don't know, I always have found it easiest to just work with a coach and let him do the guesswork because I just don't want to. How do you mentally stop yourself from overdoing it on the cardio? I would say that I just always remind myself that I'm going to start like burning up some muscle if I keep overdoing the cardio, which is like, we don't want that. And I also know too that like excess cardio does not do me any favors in the metabolism department. So I don't know, and also like know that you really can't out cardio a bad diet. So I know like if I want to make changes in my body, like I gotta rein in my diet. Like there's no amount of cardio that's gonna fix what a bad diet is doing to your body if you have like weight loss goals or whatever. It just doesn't work like that. I used to think like, well, calories in, calories out. Like if I eat 400 extra calories, I have to go burn them off on the cardio piece and then all's well. It doesn't really work like that because it's just not like a direct translation. Like eating the 400 extra calories still is doing some damage even if you go and burn off 400 calories on like the treadmill or whatever, just because of the way of like energy flows and stuff like that. It's just, no, just stick to your diet. Don't overdo the cardio because it's not good for your metabolism. It's not good for if you're trying to build muscle. Just remember those things and just don't do it. What foundation do you use? Hashtag flawless skin. Thanks! If you guys have been following some of my other videos, then you know that I have been going through a struggle with my foundation and with my skin lately. But what I have found that I really like, both drugstore and more high-end. High-end, I like Clinique Stay Matte Oil-Free Makeup. It is very matte, but it looks really smooth on my skin and it doesn't look like blah right here like a lot of other foundations do. Lots of coverage, high coverage for this one, so I like that. The drugstore foundations that I really like lately have been the Maybelline Fit Me, both in the matte and poreless and the dewy and smooth. I actually got this from my friend Lindsay, who has been in my videos lately. I've always done a matte look with my foundations. I don't know, I just never thought that. When I thought of like a dewy, luminous finish, I thought ew, oily. But now I've been kind of wanting like a luminous, dewy type finish. So I sometimes will mix these, or I will just use a dewy one and I'll just kind of like add a little more powder, but it does look really like natural and fresh. So that's what I like. Do you have a good side of your face? Yes, this side. Do you struggle with food being your crutch when life gets tough? Yes and no. I would say I used to struggle with it a lot more than I currently do. I guess probably what helped that is last year I started prep in January, so about a year ago, and literally like 5 or 6 things, one after another in my life, like fell apart, and life was super tough and super crappy. And normally what I would have done is like eaten food to like comfort myself. That has been something I've done in the past, but I was with a coach at the time who like, he didn't give me any cheat meals at all. So I just had to hunker down and like get through that prep without cheating on my diet during those tough times. And I remember saying to my husband, like, dude, I wish we could just like go out to eat right now, because like going out to eat fixes everything in my life. I've discovered that about myself. I love going out to eat and I love food. But I think that you do just get to a place if you continue to go after like I don't know, finding discipline and self-control over your habits regarding food. I think it just gets easier as long as you continue to practice self-control around food. You get used to saying no when you want to say yes, and that's really all there is to it. How do you stay motivated and push through your workouts when you want to give up? There was a post that Amanda Latona made when she was training for, I think, the Olympia in 2014, and she talked about, you know, when she's feeling super down and like unmotivated and like exhausted, and how, you know, she would do cardio in the morning and then go back at night for weights and like was on like no carbs and stuff like that. I remember her saying that she always called on God and asked for his grace to get through her workout. And that might sound weird to someone who like maybe isn't a Christian, and you're like, what? God's grace to get you through a workout? Dude, it works. It really freaking works. Not only do I ask for God's grace through a workout to like get through a workout and to re-motivate me to like kill that workout, I think of Amanda Latona and I think of her asking God for that help. And it just kind of shows me like, okay, even like the bikini pros out there have it rough, have days where they don't want to work out, and to me like nothing makes me feel better than getting through a tough workout and like actually killing the workout when I didn't want to. Like the feeling afterwards is amazing. So when you have a day like that where you don't want to stick to your diet or you don't want to work out, just go and like work extra hard at your diet and like absolutely kill it, work extra hard at your workout, and you will feel so good afterwards. And that feeling, I like chase that feeling now. Like on my bad days, I'm like, no, you know what? I want to like mess up today, but I'm just gonna like try extra hard to be perfect today, and I'm gonna feel sweet at the end of the day, and it will motivate me for tomorrow. Would you ever consider going vegan? No. I love hamburgers, I love pepperoni, I love bacon. I love every dead animal. I love them all. Like on my plate, like not, I love them. Like I love them on my plate and in my belly. What foods or exercises help get rid of belly fat? None of them. No exercise, no particular food. You are going to lose belly fat as you continue to diet and your body finally decides to release fat from your belly. Some people's bodies tend to hang on to fat more in their belly. Other people, like myself, I tend to hold it in my legs and my butt and stuff like that. So as I'm dieting down, my waist comes in really quick, but it takes forever for me to get the like extra fat off my hips and my butt and like my love handles type area. And there's no exercise or anything that like helps belly fat. Like I want you guys to really get that, because I get this question a lot. Like belly fat will come off as you continue to diet, period. What's a food you can eat every day and not get sick of? All of the foods. You know, I wish I had a good answer for this, but I feel like in the last few months where I just like was eating kind of what I wanted, I did get to a point where I was sick of everything. But I do love ice cream. And I like it more than frozen yogurt, BT dubs. Like Froyo's good and all the toppings and stuff like that, I know, but like have you tried real ice cream with like real fat in it? It's glorious. Cold Stone Birthday Remix. Go there, just try it. Tell them I sent you, it's amazing. How do you stay so organized but also make time for non-productive things that help you relax? Girl, I feel that. Working from home, I feel like it's really easy for me to just like work. And then when it's like I have like an hour or two, I feel like guilty for not continuing to work. I don't know, it's weird. If any of you work from home, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's like this weird, you're trapped inside work forever and ever and you don't get free time anymore. But I've also started like managing my time super well, and also realized the importance of like being able to like turn my brain off and like just watch Netflix, and I like put my phones out of the room and like just relax and don't think. And I set a schedule for myself every single day with like time slots, like okay, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock I'm gonna do this, and from 8 to 8:30 I'm gonna do this. And I set alarms on my phone to keep me on track. Like this is what has been part of my New Year's resolution, and I've gotten a lot better at it because I used to like do this anyway because I'm just like type A and I'm just like but I would like never stick to it. Like I would get like half the things done and never anything else and never have time to relax. But yeah, I tried to make 2 separate times every week, whether it's just for an hour, preferably like 2 or 3 hours, where I just do what I want. And usually I find that that is sitting in my bed watching YouTube videos on makeup. I don't know, I can't watch fitness YouTubers during that time. Feels like I'm watching stuff at work. I don't know, because I'm a fitness YouTuber. I don't know. But yeah, non-productive stuff is important. Like, I'm all about like the grind and working hard, but also it's important to relax. So don't feel guilty to make time to relax. What motivates you the most or inspires you? I guess it's kind of a loaded question. A person that really inspires me, I've said before, is Amanda Latona. She is just, to me, very classy, very hardworking, has a lot of integrity, a lot of character, is more than just like a bikini girl. She works super hard, has like a no excuses attitude, and I like that. I aspire to be like that. But what motivates me the most is, I think it was Marie Wold who said this on Twitter or Instagram or something. What motivates her is not being where she wants to be. And that's so true for me. Like, whenever I start to feel lazy, I think about where I'm at right now, and I think about why I even set any kind of plan of motion to change. And that's not just like physical, like body stuff. Like, you know, when I want to get lazy, I think about why I made the time management goal to begin with. When I want to not read the book that I like, you know, said I was gonna read, I think about why I made the goal to read more books, you know, and it's to better myself. It's, you know, some goals are specific, some are more broad, like to just better myself. And knowing that I'm not content with the way my life is 100%. I would say I'm content, but I'm just like hungry for more. And that's what motivates me, is knowing that there is more available, and that if I work hard, I'm gonna get more. I don't know, I've always, for the last few years, I've been a very goal-oriented person. I just like making goals, and I like working every day towards those goals, and like making little measurable goals. Like, I don't know, I love it. I love forward motion, it's awesome. What's your favorite peanut butter? All of them. It used to be cracked. Do you guys remember when I used to talk about cracked all the time? I love that stuff, but it ended up, they like changed the ingredients to where a serving of it is like 21 grams of fat. Like, what? I can't eat that ever. When would that fit my macros? So I love that stuff, but it's too much fat. I would say my favorite now is Nuts and More anything. Like, but specifically probably Nuts and More salted caramel. Salted caramel, Nuts and More, it's delicious, try it. In your opinion, do you think cycles of reverse dieting are worth it / recommended for someone who wants to lead a bodybuilder's lifestyle but has no intention of competing? Definitely, I definitely think it's worthwhile to do a cycle of dieting, reverse dieting, dieting, reverse dieting, bulking. I think that those are helpful cycles if you want to live a bodybuilder's lifestyle and you want to put on muscle. You know, you can't just like bulk for like 6 years straight and not think that you're not going to gain a bunch of excess fat and think that it's all going to be muscle. Like, that's why bulks come in seasons. That's why you only bulk for, you know, 6 months, 8 months, a year, maybe 2 years if you're really dedicated, because any longer than that, like, there's not really a purpose to it. And I know too that every time that you diet down, you pull fat differently, your body shape ends up a little bit differently. I've noticed every time that I've gone through a cycle of like reverse dieting and then dieting and reverse dieting and then dieting, fat comes off differently, I look different every time, and that's kind of what, you know, going through that cycle repeatedly is what kind of builds the physique that you're working for. And, you know, reverse dieting is just healthy for anybody who's ever dieted, to, you know, get your metabolism back up to a healthy place. And so yes is my answer. Christian girl question, do you use any particular daily devotional for your prayer time, or do you read from the Bible? I actually don't have a daily devotional. I don't know, like, I'm weird when I wake up in the morning and I do my devotional time. or like my meditation time, it's just like whatever I'm feeling like doing. Sometimes I read the Bible, sometimes I read from like a Christian book, sometimes I just pray or I like sing worship music, sometimes I watch like online ministry and stuff like that. It just kind of varies. It depends on what I feel kind of led to do, or if I like how much focus I have going on in the morning, because it's usually pretty bad. How did you grow your Instagram following and grow your coaching business? I feel like I get this question all the time, and I feel like such a loser when I try and answer it because I don't know. How did I grow my Instagram following? By posting 3 times a day for the last 3 years and eventually getting some people's attention over it. I literally don't know. I'm so antisocial on Instagram. I respond to the comments on my page, but I'm so bad about going and like liking other people's pictures, commenting on other people's stuff. I don't do any of that. And that's what you're supposed to do to gain followers. So why am I gaining them without doing that? I don't know. How did I grow my coaching business? Also not very sure. I would say at this point, probably like 20 to 30% of the clients of mine that come in are referrals, which is good because that means I'm doing a good job with the clients I currently have. But I guess just the normal stuff. Like, I don't know. You gotta be kind of like an example of your own work. I've always kind of shown how I've lost weight and stuff like that. I think that brings people in. I've kept my work consistent. I've always been a good coach and not let myself get lazy with any of my clients, so that I haven't had a single complaint. I haven't had a single person ask for a refund in all the time that I've been a coach, which is 7 months. I don't know, you guys, like this is literally, I always say it's just a God thing. Like this is what God's plan was for me, and whenever you do what God has like, whenever you follow God's will for your life, that's where you're gonna have the most grace, and that's where you're gonna have the most success. So I mean, that's all I can contribute it to. I can English, yes. Looking back on your fitness life, what are some mistakes that you didn't know then, or what could you have changed? I would say I would have put more emphasis in lifting heavier. I feel like for a long time I was lifting, but not like lifting. I also, for the longest time, and I'm still kicking myself for this, I just did legs. I like would do upper body once or twice a week, maybe. And so literally, you guys, for 3 years I have been working legs. And I wasn't even working glutes for a long time. Like, I didn't even realize that I was just working hamstrings for 3 freaking years straight. So when you guys are like, oh my God, why are your hamstrings amazing? It's because it's all the lifting I did. I would say about a 1.5 years ago, I started isolating glutes and like setting a day separate just for glutes. But I would say I wish I would have been more consistent with like upper body lifts, because that would have been helpful in balancing out my physique, as opposed to now where I'm like all legs and wimpy little noodle upper body. It's awesome. I also probably would have gone back and told myself, I remember when I started working with my first trainer, I thought that in 12 weeks I was gonna have my dream body and that would be it. Like, I would just maintain it, it'd be easy and awesome, and that's the end. I would probably have told myself, like now going back then, that your fitness journey never really ends. And even when you get down to your size that you're happy with, you're not gonna stay there like the rest of your life, unless you're some like ridiculously disciplined person who like never has a bad week and like can go the rest of your life not ever eating more than 3 cookies in one sitting or whatever. Maybe you can maintain your weight, but there's always gonna be, you know, you get down to your dream weight and then you get, you know, you ease up a little bit, you gain 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, I don't know, and then you have to cut down again. I feel like if people would understand that this is like a lifelong journey, that people would give up less often. And I know I would have saved myself a lot of frustration if I realized back then, like, Lynette, you're gonna be lifting forever. You're not just gonna live for 12 weeks and then you're gonna have your dream body and then you're done. It's gotta do it forever. Was Kitten's name always Kitten, or was there another name but she always called her Kitten? Kitten has a name. Her name is Mia, but we never call her that. I think I've told this story before. I'm sorry if I have. But when we got her, we didn't have a name for her for the first like 7 days of owning her. I don't know, she just, no name seemed to fit, so we just kept calling her the Kitten. And by day 7, like, people were like peer pressuring me, like, Lynette, you can't just like call her, you have to give her a name. So I think I took a poll with like a few of my friends on Twitter or in like a group text, and it was decided her name was gonna be Mia. If you could pick only one exercise to do for the rest of your life, what exercise would you choose? I've been thinking about this. I think I have 2 answers. The one answer is the one that I know would be best for my body if I could only do this one workout for the rest of my life. I'd like still have most of my bases covered, and that would be a squat overhead press. Got my glutes covered, got my quads, my hamstrings covered, got my core covered, got my shoulders covered. What else is there in bikini girl life? But I don't particularly like squatting. So my favorite workout, like if I could go to the gym and just do this 7 days a week, I would be so happy. Just deadlifts. I don't know what it is. I love deadlifts. I like heavy deadlifts. I like light deadlifts. I like single leg deadlifts. I like them all. I don't know. that's what I would want to do in the gym every day. So, is it possible to gain noticeable muscle while being in a caloric deficit and doing a high volume of cardio? Traits, I'm a distance runner. I'm gonna just say not really. You can build muscle while being in a deficit, and everyone's gonna say that you can't, but you kind of can. It's not gonna be a ton of muscle, but you can continue to grow a little tiny bit of muscle, depending on who you are. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but anyway. But if you're in a caloric deficit and you're doing a ton of cardio, yeah, those are like the two things that stop muscle from growing, is caloric deficit and running, or any kind of high volume of cardio. So, I mean, you're gonna be conditioning yourself and like more muscle definition, but no, you're not gonna have you're not gonna add the mass that you want. You're not gonna build a booty by being in a caloric deficit and running. No. Do you have any tips or tricks on eating out clean, or how to avoid food outside your diet plan when you're with friends and family who are indulging? Tips for eating clean. Basically, every restaurant will cook you like a grilled chicken breast or grilled salmon, grilled fish, grilled anything. Just ask them to cook it without oil. And they'll also do like steamed veggies of some sort, or like a side of sweet potato. Every restaurant that I've ever been to, for the most part, will do this. Like even Mexican restaurants and like weird restaurants with like ethnicities that like don't serve just like plain meat like that, someone will do it for you. Is that weird? I don't know, maybe. Do you have goals that you want to stick to? Yeah, so do it. Any news on a new puppy or kitten? Okay, here's the deal with that. I want a puppy so bad, but puppies are a lot of freaking work. And I would take like a full-grown dog, like I would love to rescue a dog, but even regular dogs take work. And it's been like weighing on me just how much responsibility a dog is, and how we'd have to like do 10 times the amount of work that we do for the cat for this dog. And I'm a selfish, lazy person, so I don't think we're gonna be getting a dog. I'd say like once a month I'm like, yes, we're doing it today. And then I think about it for 5 seconds and I'm like, no. We have talked about getting another cat just to give Mia a friend, but Mia has been really weird for us. And like when we first got her, she really loved me, and then she started hating me and she only loved Matt. And then for a long, long time, she like wouldn't cuddle with us, she wouldn't sit with us, she didn't want to be anywhere near us, like typical cat behavior. And then it's just been the last like 6 to 8 months that she's super cuddly, super clingy, like vocal, like the coolest cat ever, while still being super sassy, of course. And I'm kind of afraid that if we get another cat, we'll like disrupt this like little paradise that we've built. So I feel like she has separation anxiety though. Like when we're gone and stuff, she freaks out. When we come back, she's like super hardcore clingy for like an hour. And I think she just gets stressed when someone's not here with her. So I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe a friend would be helpful to her if she like didn't hate it and try to kill it. But I don't know, do you guys have 2 cats? Like if anybody out there has 2 cats and you like had a girl cat and you brought in another cat, tell me what happened. I don't know, let's figure this out. I want to know how or what makes you decide to be 100% in. I have been 90% in for the past 2 years. I am slowly starting to see that 10% adds up in my weight, not muscle. I have a lot of excuses and seemed drained with motivation. Okay, I was talking to somebody about this today, but when you are getting to the point where like it seems like you cannot get past giving 90% effort, or even like 80% or 70%, that's a time to take a break. That's a time to take a step back. And I guess I should say, if you've been going hard for a long time, like if you just started a diet plan and 3 weeks in, you're like, I hate this, like this is so hard, that's the time to suck it up and just keep going. But if you've been doing this for 2 years, like I've been there, I would say that usually once about every 6 to 12 months in like the whole last 5 years that I've been dieting, every 6 to 12 months, depending on like the extreme of my dieting season, I've had to take like 2 or 3 months off. I had to do that because like I couldn't just be on diet mode all the freaking time. You run out of motivation. Like you just get burnt out. I guess that's a good word for it. You get burnt out. So if you're at a place where like you're just giving 90%, even if you've been giving 90% for like 2 years, like take a step back and like just like take a break from it. Find other things to kind of, fuel your interest. That's what I've been doing for the last few months, is just like taking a break from being extremely hardcore in the gym and with my diet and stuff like that. And I needed it, like, as I was like, at that point, like 9 or 10 months deep into very strict dieting and like strict gym regimen. And so taking that break for me is what helped me kind of like gather myself and like prepare myself mentally to go at it 100%. And I think that that's just a good idea for people. No one can give 100% 365 days of the year. Like, it's just not possible. You get burnt out even on the things that you love doing. So don't be afraid to kind of ask yourself, like, hey, can I use like a month or two break? That's fine. Like I said, I do it myself and it's not a bad thing. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up this Q&A. As always, thank you guys for watching. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to me, you should subscribe to me. I have no idea if the subscribe button's over here. I just started pointing, I think it's actually over here. I'm not sure. Thanks again, I'll see you guys next time.